English Leap Podcast.
Learn easy English with Speak English Like a Pro. Hey, English learners, welcome back to the English Leap Podcast, your cozy place to learn easy English through real-life conversations and real feelings at the same time.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. We are really glad you pressed play today. Wherever you are in the world right now, thank you for being here with us.
And that phrase, wherever you are in the world, is actually very fitting today, because today's topic is all about distance.
Distance, as in the space between two people?
Exactly. The kilometers, the time zones, the phone screens, the waiting. Today, we are talking about long-distance relationships.
Oh, this one is going to be a lot.
It is going to be a lot, yes, because this topic is not just about romance. It is about missing people, about loving someone who is not in the same room as you, about choosing to stay connected when everything around you is pulling you apart.
And that is something so many people know, not just couples. Friends who move to different cities, families separated by work or study or migration.
Yes, long distance is not only a love story, it is a human story.
And it is full of the most complicated, beautiful, exhausting feelings a person can have.
Which also makes it perfect for an English podcast. Because today, while we talk about those feelings, you are also going to learn the language to express them.
This is a B1 to B2 level episode. The language will be natural and sometimes a little deep, but we will speak clearly and explain the strong vocabulary as we go.
And if you're a strong A2 listener, please stay with us. Some parts will feel challenging, but that is exactly where your English grows. You can always listen again and catch more each time.
Near the end of the episode, we will slow everything down for our word tour. 10 strong expressions from today explained clearly so you can use them in your own conversations.
Before we go deeper, one small request. If you enjoy learning English this way, please like this episode and subscribe to the English Leap podcast. It really helps more learners find this cozy space.
And in the comments today, tell us one word that describes how long distance feels. Just one word. Hard, worth it, lonely, beautiful, anything. We love reading your answers.
Okay, Jason, let us start with a question that I think a lot of people are afraid to answer honestly.
Already nervous. Okay, go ahead.
Do you think long-distance relationships actually work?
That's a loaded question.
I know, that's why I asked it.
Okay, honestly, I think the answer is yes and no, and it depends, and also it's very complicated.
That is 4 answers.
Because it's a 4-answer question. Long distance can absolutely work. I've seen it. People who spent years apart and came out stronger. But I've also seen the other side. People who held on too long to something that was slowly disappearing.
Who mistook stubbornness for love.
Yes, because sometimes staying in something difficult feels like loyalty. But sometimes it's just fear of letting go.
And knowing the difference is one of the hardest things a person can do.
Especially when you love someone.
Especially then. Okay, so long distance does not always start as long distance. Sometimes 2 people are together in the same city, the same life, and then something changes.
Someone gets a job offer abroad, a study opportunity. Family calls them home.
And suddenly there's a conversation nobody wanted to have.
The conversation where you both look at each other and say, okay, what do we do now?
Those 4 words carry so much.
They really do, because in that moment, you're not just deciding about a relationship, you're deciding about your priorities, what you're willing to sacrifice, and what you're not.
And I think the most honest thing about that conversation is that sometimes one person is more willing to stay than the other.
That imbalance is where a lot of long-distance heartbreak begins. Not with big, dramatic moments, just with one person holding on tighter than the other.
Have you been that person?
Yes. A few years ago, someone very important to me moved abroad for work. We decided to try long distance, and I was all in, completely. I was the one sending good morning messages, planning visits, counting down the days.
And her?
She was trying. I really believe that. But somewhere her life over there became fuller. New friends, new experiences, a new version of herself that I wasn't quite part of.
And you could feel it happening.
I could feel it in the pauses. You know when a conversation used to flow easily and now there's small silences that weren't there before?
Yes, I know those silences.
They feel like small cracks. You notice one and you think, that's nothing. But then another appears, and another, until one day you look at the conversation and it's more cracks than wall.
Glenlee, what happened in the end?
We had a long, honest, painful conversation, and we decided that what we had was real and beautiful, but we were growing in different directions, and pretending otherwise wasn't fair to either of us.
That takes a lot of courage.
It took everything, because part of me wanted to just keep holding on, because giving up felt like losing something irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable, something that cannot be replaced by anything else.
And she is. But sometimes irreplaceable and right for each other aren't the same thing.
I think that sentence just broke someone listening right now.
I'm sorry if it did.
No, it needed to be said, because so many people are holding on to something right now that is irreplaceable, but maybe not right. And they needed someone to name that feeling.
I hope it helps more than it hurts.
I think it does both, and sometimes that's what the truth does.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the day-to-day reality of long distance, because long distance also lives in the tiny, ordinary moments.
The tiny moments are actually what get you.
Not the big dramatic things, the small ones, like wanting to show someone something funny on the street and remembering they're asleep in a different time zone.
Or cooking a meal and thinking they would love this, and the table feeling very big and very empty.
The empty chair.
The empty chair is one of the hardest parts of long distance that nobody talks about enough. You're just eating dinner, and there's a chair across from you that should have someone in it, and it doesn't.
And that quiet absence hurts in a way that's hard to explain to people who haven't felt it.
Because it's not a dramatic moment. Nobody's crying, nobody's fighting, it's just a chair. And yet,
It's everything.
so what do? You take a photo of the food and send it to them.
Yes, the food photo, the sunset photo, the look at this dog I saw today photo.
All the little "I wish you were here" photos that you never actually captioned that way.
Because saying I wish you were here every single day feels like too much, so instead you send the dog.
You send the dog and hope they understand.
And usually they do, because they're sending their own version of the dog from their side of the world.
These tiny messengers of "I'm thinking of you."
Long distance teaches you to find new ways to be close because the usual ways are not available.
You can't hold their hand. You can't sit next to them on the sofa. You can't just be in the same room doing nothing together.
And that nothing together is actually something enormous that people don't appreciate until it's gone.
The comfortable science. Two people in the same space, not needing to talk, just existing together.
That's one of the first things long distance takes from you.
Because on a video call, there's always pressure to fill the silence. But silence in the same room can feel like peace.
And you spend a lot of time in long distance trying to recreate that peace through a screen.
I've heard of couples who fall asleep on video calls just to feel like they're in the same room.
That is both the sweetest and saddest thing.
It really is both at the same time.
The whole long-distance experience is bittersweet, honestly. The love is real, the connection is real, but there's always this layer of ache underneath everything.
Always. Even on the good days. Even when the call is perfect and you're both laughing. Somewhere underneath, there's this quiet ache that says, this is not enough. This is not the whole thing.
And managing that ache is actually a skill that long distance forces you to develop.
Because in a normal relationship, when you feel disconnected, you can just go to them physically. But in long distance, you cannot. So you have to find other ways. And one of the biggest dangers is when the longing becomes the whole relationship.
Say more.
When two people spend all their energy just missing each other, counting down to the next visit, living for the reunion, and everything in between feels like just waiting.
The waiting life.
And if you live in the waiting, you stop actually living your present life. You become a person who is always somewhere else in their mind.
Your actual life, the one happening right now around you, starts to feel like an inconvenience.
Like something you have to get through to get to the real thing.
And your life is not a waiting room.
Please write that in the comments. Your life is not a waiting room.
Because so many people in long distance put their whole life on pause, stop investing in friendships around them, stop building anything in the place they are actually standing.
Because everything feels temporary. Why should I make new friends here? I am leaving soon.
And soon becomes a year, and the year becomes 2, and they look around and realize they built nothing where they were standing.
That happened to me. When I was in that long-distance relationship, I stopped going out. I turned down plans to be available for calls.
You organized your life around the phone screen.
And at the time, it felt like devotion, like I was proving how much I cared. But it was making me smaller. My world was shrinking to the size of a phone screen, and I did not even notice.
Okay, but let us also talk about what long distance does that is genuinely beautiful, because there is another side.
Yes, and people do not talk about those enough.
Long distance forces a kind of communication that in-person couples sometimes never learn.
Because when physical presence is not available, words become everything. You cannot fix an argument with a hug. You have to actually talk about it with words, properly.
Which is terrifying for a lot of people.
But it builds something, a kind of emotional vocabulary that many couples never develop.
Long-distance couples often know each other very deeply because they've had conversations that in-person couples postpone.
In person, you can go to a movie, cook dinner, and the difficult conversation gets pushed aside because life fills the space.
But on a video call, there's nowhere to hide. It's just 2 faces and whatever needs to be said.
And that can be incredibly intimate.
And there's something else long distance gives you. Independence. Real independence, not the lonely kind. The kind where you learn to stand fully in your own life while still being connected to someone else.
You cannot rely on them for your daily happiness. They're not there to fix your day in the immediate way. You have to find that for yourself.
And that is actually a very healthy kind of love, when 2 people are each living full lives and choosing to share those lives rather than needing each other to feel whole.
Every call is a choice. Every message is a choice. Every visit is a choice. Nobody's doing it by habit or default. They're doing it because they genuinely want to be connected.
There's something incredibly powerful about a love that has to be actively chosen every single day.
That might be the most beautiful thing about long distance, actually.
Yeah, when you look at it from that angle, it really is something. So, what does it actually take to make it work? 2 things I think are essential. First, honesty about the timeline.
Yes, both people need to be honest about when the distance is going to end, because long distance with an endpoint is a completely different experience from long distance with no clear endpoint.
Finite versus indefinite. Finite means it has an endpoint, a date, a plan. Indefinite means there's no clear end in sight.
And indefinite long distance is where most relationships eventually break down, because you cannot build a life on an endless maybe.
The second thing is having a life outside the relationship. Your partner cannot be your only source of connection and joy while you're apart. That's too much pressure on them and too much emptiness for you.
You need your own friends, your own reasons to be excited about your present life. You need to bloom where you are planted.
Bloom where you are planted. You can grow and thrive in the place you are currently in, even if it's not your final destination.
You can have roots in a place without it meaning you're staying forever.
And those roots keep you healthy while you wait for the distance to close.
Okay, before the word tour, I want to say one thing for the English learners specifically.
Please.
If you're in a long-distance relationship and you're trying to communicate across that distance in English, your effort matters enormously.
Every time you try to express a complicated feeling in a second language, you're doing something brave. You're taking something that lives deep inside you and dressing it in English words that don't always fit perfectly.
And sometimes those imperfect words cause misunderstandings that have nothing to do with what you actually feel.
So if you're learning English partly to love someone better across a distance, we see that. That's one of the most beautiful reasons to learn a language.
And every episode you listen to, every word you learn is closing that distance a little. Not just the geographic one, the emotional one too.
Okay, let's go into our word tour. 10 expressions from today explained slowly and clearly.
Just listen or repeat after us. No pressure. Let's start.
First expression, loaded question.
A loaded question seems simple but carries a lot of hidden weight and complexity. There's more inside it than the words suggest.
For example, do you think long distance works? is a loaded question. The answer depends on so many things.
Or, are you happy? Can be a loaded question depending on who asks it and when. Repeat, loaded question.
Loaded question.
Slowly, loaded question.
Next expression, imbalance.
An imbalance is when two things are not equal. In relationships, it means one person is giving more or feeling more than the other.
For example, she noticed an imbalance. She was always the one reaching out, and he was always the one needing more space.
Or the imbalance in effort was slowly pulling them apart. Repeat, imbalance.
Imbalance.
Take your time. Imbalance.
Next expression, irreplaceable.
Someone or something irreplaceable cannot be replaced by anything or anyone else. They are completely unique.
For example, some people in your life are irreplaceable. Even after they're gone, you never find someone quite like them.
Or that memory is irreplaceable. Nothing can recreate that exact moment. Repeat, irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable.
Slowly, irreplaceable.
Next expression, quiet absence.
Quiet absence is when someone is not there, but their missing presence is felt in soft, ordinary moments. Not dramatic heartbreak, just a gentle daily ache.
For example, long distance is full of quiet absence. Small, everyday moments where someone should be there and is not.
Or the quiet absence of her best friend was felt most during their usual morning coffee routine. Repeat, quiet absence.
Quiet absence.
Take your time. Quiet absence.
Next expression, longing.
Longing is a deep, persistent feeling of wanting someone or something that is not there. Stronger than simply missing, it is a quiet ache that stays.
For example, his letters were full of longing. You could feel how much he missed her in every line.
Or she felt a deep longing for home every time she heard familiar music. Repeat, longing.
Longing.
Slowly, longing.
Next expression, finite and indefinite.
Finite means having a clear endpoint. It will stop at a specific time. Indefinite means there is no clear end in sight. It continues without a known endpoint.
For example, their long distance was finite. They both knew exactly when she was coming home.
Or an indefinite long distance with no shared plan is very difficult to sustain. Repeat, finite and indefinite.
Finite, indefinite.
Take your time. Finite, indefinite.
Next expression, emotional vocabulary.
Emotional vocabulary is the range of words someone has to describe and communicate their feelings. A rich emotional vocabulary means you can express nuance and complexity in how you feel.
For example, long-distance couples often build a stronger emotional vocabulary because they must describe everything in words.
Or children encouraged to talk about feelings develop a stronger emotional vocabulary as adults. Repeat, emotional vocabulary.
Emotional vocabulary.
Slowly, emotional vocabulary.
Next expression, bloom where you are planted.
Bloom where you are planted means to grow and thrive in the situation or place you are currently in, even if it is not your ideal or final destination.
For example, she was only there for 1 year, but she decided to bloom where she was planted. She built friendships and made the most of her time.
Or, instead of waiting to be happy until everything was perfect, he learned to bloom where he was planted. Repeat, bloom where you are planted.
Bloom where you are planted.
Take your time. Bloom where you are planted.
Next expression, catastrophizing.
Catastrophizing means imagining the worst possible outcome from a small or uncertain situation. You turn a tiny signal into a disaster in your mind.
For example, he saw that she read his message but did not reply and immediately started catastrophizing. He convinced himself the relationship was ending.
Or she had a habit of catastrophizing before any difficult conversation. Repeat, catastrophizing.
Catastrophizing.
Slowly, catastrophizing.
And our last expression today, deliberate.
When something is deliberate, it is done on purpose, with full intention and awareness. It is a conscious choice, not a habit or accident.
For example, their love became more deliberate after the distance. Every call, every visit was a chosen act of connection.
Or she was deliberate about her English practice. She chose what to work on each week with a clear reason. Repeat, deliberate.
Deliberate.
Take your time. Deliberate.
That was our word tour for today. 10 expressions for the distance, the longing, the beauty, and the complexity of loving someone far away.
You do not need to remember all 10 right now. Just take one or two with you. Maybe longing, maybe bloom where you are planted, maybe deliberate.
And write a sentence in the comments using one of today's words. Something simple, something from your own life.
We read every single comment, and every sentence you write in English is one more brave step toward the version of you that speaks freely.
So here's what we want to leave you with today. Long distance is one of the hardest things love asks of people. And if you're in it right now, we see you.
We see the empty chair, the late-night calls, the airport goodbyes, the unanswered questions about the future.
We see the courage it takes to keep showing up across kilometers and time zones and phone screens.
And your love is real. Your effort is real. The distance does not make it less. Sometimes it makes it more.
More deliberate, more chosen, more conscious.
And your English journey is a little like long distance.
How so?
You are reaching toward a version of yourself that feels at home in this language. And right now, there is distance between you and that version.
But every episode is a step closer.
Every word tour, every comment, every brave conversation in English, you are closing the distance.
So keep going. The reunion with your best English self is coming.
I love that. The reunion with your best English self.
If today's episode touched something in you, please like it, subscribe to the English Leap podcast, and share it with someone who is living the long-distance life right now.
They might need to hear that their love is seen and their effort matters.
This is Mia.
And this is Jason.
And you have been listening to the English Leap podcast.
Bye.
Bye. Hold on and bloom at the same time. Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.